What if Apple's most radical iPhone change isn't about cameras, AI, or even performance, but about shape? Because that's exactly what's happening with the iPhone Fold. Even though Apple hasn't officially shown anything yet, the leaks are now so consistent that we can clearly see the direction they're heading. And this isn't Apple copying foldables, this is Apple rewriting the rules in a very intentional way. Over the last few weeks, leaked measurements have turned into realistic dummy models made by designers and leak visualizers. These aren't real Apple units, but they're built from reliable data, and that's important. They let us understand how this phone might actually feel in real life. And the moment you compare these models to current phones, something feels different. When folded, the iPhone Fold is expected to be wider but noticeably shorter than a Pro Max iPhone. That alone makes it stand out. Most foldables stretch upward, so the outer screen feels normal. Apple doesn't seem to care about that. Instead, they're going for something that feels compact and solid in your pocket, even if the outside screen feels unfamiliar at first. And that choice changes how the entire device is meant to be used. Once you open it, everything clicks into place. The inner display is rumored to be around 7.8 inches, but the real magic is the shape. Instead of a tall, narrow screen, Apple is reportedly using a wider tablet-like aspect ratio, closer to an iPad mini. That instantly improves how content looks. Videos feel bigger, reading feels more comfortable, and browsing doesn't feel cramped. This is one of those design decisions that doesn't sound exciting on paper, but completely changes the experience. And here's the key thing most people are missing. The smaller outer display isn't a flaw, it's the entire point. At around 5.5 inches, the cover screen is clearly not meant to replace a normal phone experience. Apple expects you to unfold this device often. They're betting that people would rather have a truly portable device that becomes powerful when opened, instead of a foldable that pretends to be a normal phone all the time. Now this is where things get really interesting, and if Apple gets this part right, it could completely separate the iPhone Fold from every other foldable on the market. Apple has already experimented with small phones and giant phones, and neither extreme fully won. This foldable sits right in the middle. It gives you a compact phone when you need it, and something close to a mini tablet only when you want it. And because of its expected pricing, it doesn't really replace an iPad or an iPhone. It becomes its own category inside Apple's ecosystem. But here's where Apple's usual strategy kicks in, and this is the part that could make or break the iPhone Fold. Apple isn't trying to win with flashy features, they're trying to quietly fix the biggest problems that have held foldables back for years. And that becomes clear once you look under the hood. Leaks suggest Face ID might be gone entirely. Instead, Touch ID could return, built directly into the power button. On a foldable, that actually makes a lot of sense. The way you hold the phone constantly changes, and a fingerprint unlock could end up being faster and more reliable than face scanning. It's a very unexciting change, and that's exactly why it feels so Apple-like. The display is another major focus. Apple is reportedly working on new screen technology to reduce crease visibility and improve responsiveness. They're even said to be developing their own ultra-thin, flexible glass. Let's be realistic, the crease probably won't disappear completely, but if Apple can make it less noticeable while improving durability, that alone would be a huge win. Battery life might be the most important challenge of all. Foldables are notorious for struggling here, and Apple seems fully aware of that. The iPhone Fold is expected to use a newer, more efficient modem, high-density battery cells, and slimmer internal components to claw back efficiency. The goal isn't just decent battery life, it's all-day reliability, something most foldables still fail to deliver. Camera decisions also point to Apple playing the long game. While early rumors mentioned under-display cameras, newer leaks suggest a small visible camera on the inner screen instead. That might not sound exciting, but it's realistic. Apple rarely adopts new camera tech unless it meets their quality standards. In total, expect around 4 cameras across the device. Then there's the hinge. Reports mention a mix of liquid metal and pressure-spreading materials, all aimed at keeping the phone thin without sacrificing strength. Current estimates suggest roughly 9 millimeters when folded and under 5 millimeters when unfolded, which would make this one of the thinnest foldables ever made. So when you step back and look at the bigger picture, the iPhone Fold doesn't feel risky. It feels deliberate. Wider screens, fewer gimmicks, refined hardware, and a design built around real usage instead of spec sheet flexing. Whether people love this phone or not will depend on what they expect from a foldable. But one thing is clear, Apple isn't just entering the foldable market late, they're trying to enter it right.